is the world's largest tourism trade fair. In it, the public and private sector get together to discuss matters that are shaping the future and the present of the industry. For 2016, six are believed to be the most relevant factors shaping the industry for the present and the future. First, the refugee crisis and the shift that it has created. Second, the persistent shadow of terrorism that threatens tourists and residents. Third, the contrasting business models from traditional airlines to the low-budget airlines, which are usually the load factor as a measure for success and reduced costs. Fourth, the segmentations of the industry and the new innovating niche markets appearing such as the luxury, MICE, LGBT, weddings, and so on. Also, the sustainable and responsible phase of tourism, especially for a small island destination, being the. However, digitalization and technology seems to be the one paving the way for the future of the tourism industry. Therefore, three symposiums that discuss the impact of digitalization and the travel industry will be presented. The first one to discuss will be the Global Travel Industry by 2023 by Greg Webb. The fast pace in which technology sector has grown in the past decade, and more specifically in the use of mobile devices, with an 87% of Americans to a 90% of Chinese connecting through the internet via a mobile device, is going to definitely impact the way in which we travel by 2023. From the moment we prepare the trip to the moment we decide to return home. A range of innovations such as augmented reality to help us choose the destinations, biometrics helping us make decisions and blend in new environments as if we were locals, tracking devices for our luggage to driverless cars are going to be commonly used by travelers in the future. Then the idea of this symposium is letting us know that big data is becoming the new oil, as it can be actionable in analytics and statistics that will help us efficiently personalize the services that we're giving to new travelers. This idea that we can go from mobile first to mobile only, as it then automation as we can be connected to the traveler from the beginning to the end of the trip, and then the consumerized models where consumers will tell us where the travelers need to go and where the industry needs to be. The next symposium we're going to discuss now will be the Rethinking Policies for the Tourism Sharing Economies by Alan Duperas, Head of Tourism of OECD. According to OECD, sharing economy can be defined as new marketplaces that allow services to be provided on a peer-to-peer basis. It can be from the accommodation, transportation, dining, and travel services. In the accommodation sector, for example, Airbnb is the major service provider in this platform. But as it can be seen, the average percent of year occupied shows the prevalence of full-time short-term accommodation rental, indicating a pattern that houses are being operated as tourism businesses rather than occasional peer-to-peer transactions, which certainly has an impact over the industry. So this has created different responses from policymakers. A wait-and-see policy has generally been the common strategy. However, a number of countries have taken different paths to approach sharing economies. Some, such as Australia, have been establishing rules and regulations, especially in the taxation laws. The second one have been given licenses and permits, and others have had a direct engagement, such as Korea, with the. Overall, the sharing economy helps in the democratization of the tourism marketplace as it diversifies the products and extends the benefits of tourism to especially rural areas. However, regulatory frameworks to protect consumer and local community, as well as to create adjustments in the taxation and labor laws, need to be created to reduce competitive imbalances that can go in detriment of the traditional business models. The third symposium to discuss will be the digital transformation leaders, in which Georgia Stegman explained a study done by in which they have identified 5 characteristics that distinguish the profile of the digital transformation leader from the traditional executives. First, they are innovative, disruptive, as they like to embrace change, bold, but also very sensitive and socially adept, and finally, achievement oriented. As a result of these differences, between generational leaders, a shift from the IQ culture to the DQ or digital quotation culture is being experienced, generating issues for traditional structured companies in finding new talents as young college graduates prefer to work in their own new startups where they can make mistakes rather than what all of this is indicating is that digitalization has impacted the human resources structure of the current industry and will keep doing so in the future. Therefore, traditional companies need to start making room for not only creativity but also for mistakes. Create structures that empower that creative destroyer rather than stay in the status quo of traditional hierarchies if they want to keep growing in the future. It is clear that digitalization and technology are changing the way in which the industry has been performing so far, not only in the business models and economic spheres, but also in the human resources. And what ITB is trying to tell us is that this is more than a trend, and that it is very highly likely for it to be keep defining the path for tourism in the close future. Thank you.